do you think, that kind of goes along with the KKK, do you think that that should be protected, that these people have the right to maybe discriminate against soldiers or homosexuals even at funerals, even if they're at a different section, or do you think that's something we need to maybe amend in the Constitution?
Unintended consequence of the right.
Kind of like the KKK. I agree. Okay, so last thing we're going to talk about is press. And America's known as a pretty free country, right? How free do you think the press is in America, just to kind of guess?
I mean, I'd say like pretty free, just, you know, we more like tabloids, you know, like Jump the Day, Spew,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I would say also pretty free, just knowing like you can say the most conservative thing or the most liberal thing and it doesn't matter.
I agree. Actually, I can't remember the name of the group. It's a nonpartisan group that ranked the United States 32nd in the world in terms of freedom of press. And actually, what we were actually the top 20 in 2008. But kind of a significant event in the way the media portrayed it changed that in the past 4 years, and that was the Occupy. Do you have any idea why? Maybe the way the way major media outlets like Fox News, CNN, maybe why they caused a drop of 13 points in 4 years from top 20 to 32nd.
Most of the media, the major ones are more liberal, so they give a different slant, I guess.
Any other ideas? Yeah, that was a good point. The reason for it that I found on the website was that they weren't being truthful about it. They were taking opinions maybe from people that weren't directly involved. And also, some reporters were actually arrested on Wall Street for interviewing some of the protesters that weren't part of Fox News, that weren't part of CNN, that weren't part of MSNBC, that were part of smaller, maybe locally owned ones. So I think we do have a pretty free press, but I think there's a censor, especially at the national level, where we don't get exactly 100% the truth. They might take some things out. So why would major media outlets maybe cover up some things, maybe hide some things from the American public that they don't want to?
Well, they have their own agenda because they sell papers and they sell TV spots, so everything else.
Yes, that's a very good point. So they don't want to make maybe themselves look bad or their supporters, financial supporters look bad. Okay, so we have kind of a discussion here on the main freedom. So what I would like to do now is kind of together come up with a general statement of maybe 1 or 2 sentences that kind of encompass all these 4 freedoms. And what it's going to do is explain, like I said, 1 or 2 sentences, what freedoms are protected and when, and what freedoms aren't protected and when. So remember with the freedom of speech, we said, yeah, it's kind of unintended consequence of our founding fathers coming up with these freedom of ideas. But in the KKK rally, what would have made that legal assembly illegal? What could have happened to make the sheriff come in and stop the whole thing and say, see, this is no longer protected?
Well, if they were insightful with their, trying to start riots, arguments, fights, or combative things.
Okay, very good. So you could say, so it's going to be protected. These freedoms are going to be protected as long as no one is injured. And I don't know if you guys, this is kind of a historical example, but in 1918, the Sedition Acts were passed for World War I. Does anybody know what the Sedition Acts were? It was during, yeah, right, it was just prior to, well, actually, it was just after U.S. got involved. Kind of goes along with the Espionage Acts. Okay, so the Sedition Acts of 1918. What they did was outlaw anybody from publicly speaking or publicly printing material that went against the United States agenda in World War I. So basically, it was illegal for 3 years, 1918 to 1921, to publicly go against America's war effort, okay? So what freedoms does that kind of infringe upon? Because there's two main ones that I can think of.
Freedom of speech,
That's one.
freedom of the press, isn't it?
I would say that's the other one. Any other recent pieces of legislation maybe you can think of that infringe upon people's rights that were passed because of a national crisis or war?
Well, in Homeland Security, I don't think I have something exact.
Well, you're kind of on the right track here.
The Patriot Act?
Okay, what parts of that might infringe upon these rights guaranteed in the First Amendment?
Well, I don't know, it's sort of an invasion of privacy, or could be seen as that, but I don't know if that really goes with any of the
Well,
first ones.
it kind of goes along with freedom of speech, because basically without a warrant, if the government finds that you might have some involvement with any terrorist or extreme group or faction, or even if maybe you print something or give a speech that's extreme, has extreme views that really don't go along with what the United States wants to do in terms of their foreign policy, they can videotape you and without any warrant. So I think that kind of goes along with freedom of speech and freedom of press, because all of a sudden maybe we can't say everything we really want to feel like without the government coming involved. So I think we kind of came to the conclusion here that all these freedoms are protected by the United States Constitution, except under two different circumstances. First is your freedom of speech, your freedom of press isn't infringing upon the rights of others, right? So the KKK rally, they're saying these awful, terrible, inaccurate things, but their actions weren't really infringing upon any of the rights of others, therefore it's protected. And the second reason why your constitutional rights might not be protected throughout history has been times of crisis or war. I think that's a fair statement. All right, so this is kind of what the generalized statement you want to take away from today. All right, so our rights are protected by the Constitution unless our rights infringe upon the rights of others, or that statement or change it in any way. I think that's a pretty fair assumption from what we gathered today. All right. So for homework, your assignment is to use this general statement and provide some facts and examples in a 2-page essay that will kind of support this argument. Okay?